unicorn game in town where it seems like an entrepreneur is inviting you to partner in a business venture. But it's actually a version of the classic advance fee con. The next thing you know, you have lost hundreds of thousands of shillings and strange suppliers are knocking on your mom's door looking for you. Join me and Daisy as we chat about this elaborate business scam and how she's picking up the pieces.
Join and share this moment of truth and laughter is all for me. Join and share this moment. Hey, yeah, hey, yeah. For the Joanne and Show.
Born and bred here in Kisumu County, I read primary through to Luwak High School, then the University of Nairobi, where I pursued my degree specialized in procurement, Bachelor of Commerce, procurement option. Now that's my education background and we hope to pursue much more into the field. Now, Daisy is a marketer by calling. Professionally, I've studied procurement, but I thrive well when it comes to marketing products and also creating awareness of the same. So I'm a marketer. And my business right now is registered under Marketing Insights. The whole thing is to market brands, not just a specific organization, but cutting across brands from SMEs, which is the main target. Why? Because most of SMEs do not have enough float to put themselves out there. So I thought it wise that it would be in order to use my skills to cut across SMEs and make their products and services known to the public and to people who would want to have their services and goods from them. Yeah, so I'm a marketer, and if you're keen or you know me much, maybe on social media, you'll see that I have marketed so many brands. Yeah. So my business currently is to market brands and people.
Yeah, so what brings us today is you've been conned in this country, like most of us. You being a business person, I know you've been, you've interacted with a lot of people, and some of them have not ended too well.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's a pretty much sad story to say. Well, I was in chicken business before I started this my own. It was sort of contract farming, but at the same time we also had a space where we would pull together the chicken which we have harvested from farmers, and then we sell back to the hotels and the markets. Now I was in partnership, which really didn't turn out well. I had not dug so much. Let me say I didn't do background check so much. I think it's because we clicked and then we decided we can be partners, which really, really messed me up. Up to now, I think I deal with the mess, but it is way better from how it started. Now, this is it. This guy, we partnered, and in the partnership, my role was to be more of a director of sales. You've noticed I told you I'm a marketer, and I thrive well in that space. So, as a marketer, you're known within a very short while, depending on how you push yourself and also your services. Now, my advantage was I had mapped Kisumu very well and the hotels around it. You ask me any hotel around, I know all. Unless there's one which has been put up today, I know all. Because that was my main market anyway. Chicken. Of course, you buying one would be a good thing for me, but bulk, because of the conferences. So bulk, the hotel was the user, the main user. Now, I said I got into it as a sales director. Now, he was in charge of production, we would call it operations. Then we partnered with another doctor, saw the concept. The doctor was his friend. So, he came in, there were no wakilis, how we
don't sign any agreement.
Any agreement, any memorandum of association, There
was a business based on trust.
Trust and gentleman agreement, I would call it. And it wasn't well structured. So now, as I told you, I'm a marketer. I have studied Bachelor of Commerce, which means I know details of accounts. But because that was not my main area of focus, I would do marketing more. I will just push the products, ensure the hotels get their orders in time. Then I follow up on the payment. Now, the business went on well. We supplied, and it was flowing, and to me it was growing. I shot myself on the foot by not really concentrating on how the daily operation is going on. And remember, this business we'd already employed people.
And all the farmers that you worked with.
Of course, now we employed them and the people in their farms. What really opened my eyes is when my partner had traveled to the village for a funeral. And now I had to remain in the office and handle stuff. My head blew.
When you looked at the books.
Not checking on the books. Incoming farmers. Walking in and out of the space, it was embarrassing. Some mamas would come there, wail at me, like their money.
Okay. Let me stop you. Give us a little bit of clarity into what happened. What happened during that time? Had he siphoned money from the business? Was he underquoting the sales? What exactly was happening that made the farmers so angry, or was he?
I would say he was not paying the farmers.
Oh.
Like there was an agreement that if the farmers bring chicken up to this time, there was normally a payment plan. In 2 weeks you're supposed to pay them. In 2 weeks you're supposed to pay them. Well, I understand that sometimes business will be low and hotels will take long with the money, but still they will pay at the end of the day. And when COVID hit, also some of them did not pay. But I was not keen to details. The point is, most farmers who are coming to make noise and wail at me during the time he had gone to the funeral were not known to me. You get? Like business done outside, they know themselves, they don't know, I don't know the business they got into. I don't know the agreement, there are nothing which was signed to show that this is basically business for this company. You get? Now, when he's gone to the funeral, deep in the village, their area do not even have network. It's deep in the village. Truly, there was no network. That one I cannot lie. So getting hold of him was very difficult. Then one of my employees, I think was also not fair enough to the company, gave out my number. You see now, Joanne, this is a situation whereby I'm dealing with things that I don't even know. I don't even know the amount. I don't know whether it is honest. I don't know whether... Because there are no details to it. You get? That is when I knew that there's trouble. I got myself into more trouble by trying to calm down the situation, asking for money from my friends. Like, yo, can I get this amount? I will sort you by. Can I get this amount? I will sort you by. Thankfully, I have good friends. They will send me money, then I would sort the current mess.
And this
that went
for how long?
No, good enough. He was coming from the funeral. I managed to get his mother, so he was given an alert that there's emergency in Kisumu. So it was a whole weekend of disaster and depression. I never slept. When he came back, I told him, look, can we sit down now so that I can get to know our debtors list, what is our creditors list, so we can see if it's even balancing. I was shocked. And I felt silly about myself. Why? Lists and lists of
people
who are owed money. If you check on the creditors, they're not balancing. They're not.
Could it be that money was coming in and he
was being misused or something? Because truly is, I wasn't so keen to details. I was focused more on selling than zeroing down into details. That I blame myself.
So during the time that you guys did business, how long was the duration?
A year plus.
A year plus.
Yeah.
And within this duration, did you guys get any profits? Did you get your cut?
I would say no. Why? Because if you study business, it takes a long time to break even.
Yeah, to break even.
So you believe that everything is being pumped back into business and the employees are being paid.
Exactly.
So the overhead costs were higher than the profits. But I was clinging on this hope that one day we'll break even and things will be rosy. Yeah.
So at this point, what is his defense?
This is it. Now we sat down. I was telling you, we sat down and drew the list.
The three of you, or just the two?
There's another accountant who was also in picture, and that is the day I felt so silly. Like I took so long to be the scholar I am. Now we compare the list. Sadly, the creditors was outweighing the debtors. To mean we are already
you're already thinking.
we are in trouble.
Mm.
Okay. So now, sadly is, still I didn't know those farmers.
Mm.
Neither did I know where their farms are. I think I only knew of two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, it went on, we tried to offset and had an agreement with the farmers maybe, because we are already in this shit now together.
Mm.
We tried sitting down and telling them we're working on a plan, we will pay this way, this way, this way. Worse came to worse when the governor of Kisumu County demolished our space.
That is your premise of operation.
Yes.
Oh. Mm.
So you can imagine, you owe someone a lot of money. They are coming to your site of business. They're not finding you.
Mm-hmm.
Even you would react in any way,
Mm-hmm.
and the reaction would have been overreaction. I'm telling you, guys went to the police station.
You called the police to
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
They've come. They found the space is empty.
Mm.
These people owe us money.
Mm.
They've been bomolewadi. Yes, it is true. The government did it.
Mm.
But then where are they gone to?
Yeah, where is everybody? How do we get a hold of them? So they went and reported you guys to the police.
Before even that, when my mom stays within the CBD, so this guy called my mom directly and asked my mom, can I use your space for some time because we've been demolished? Can you keep for me the freezers, the desk and all that? My mama said yes. Why? Because she saw the daughter is into this business.
Mm.
It's like if I say no, I'm saying no to my child. That was the worst mistake of our life as a family my mom ever did.
Mm-hmm.
There's some guy who trailed us one day after being demolished. You know, when you're delivering chicken, you've branded your cooler box.
Mm-hmm.
So he followed the rider to my mom's place. You can imagine the type of drama my mom went through.
On your behalf and on behalf of your business partners.
And the family.
Mm.
So these guys, they started coming to my mom's house to cause drama.
Yeah, because that's the only place where
They can find.
you guys. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And police were coming to our house all the time in search of the man.
So where was he the whole time?
Somewhere he changed numbers.
Mm.
He kept on changing numbers. Thankfully, I had his wife's number, so I would always, when I was so desperate, I would call the wife. Yeah.
Why did they leave the whole responsibility
to me?
insurance?
One is because I didn't mention the Daktari withdrew
Mm-hmm.
from the whole business. Now it was only me and him.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I was to date.
Mm-hmm.
The number I registered when I was 18 years old, I use it today.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm not a con, I do not see any reason whatsoever why I should change numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very easy to find
to
me
find you. Mm-hmm.
and not to find him. So I sorted a lot of cases. One day I was almost being thrown in.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, a friend was in the police station and asked not to be. So I was held until he did what? He came.
Mm-hmm. And help you pay the person in question.
No, when he came, I just said, no, I'm not in it. Because one, these people, I don't know them. But now I'm in it. The best I'm going through is to be meeting policemen every now and again. You know, I was living, I was even afraid of posting stuff on my Facebook because I actually thought one of these farmers would troll me or bash me on Facebook.
Yeah, and embarrass you further.
Yes,
Mm.
because of things which I was not responsible for.
So, looking back, how much do you think you lost to all of this in total?
I would say my shares went down badly.
Mm.
It's in tune of hundreds. Yeah.
You didn't get your profit?
Never ever.
But you also spent even more money
Yeah.
to pay off some of the farmers.
Yeah.
Mm.
I looked very okay on Facebook
Mm.
before all this drama started because I was continuously marketing the business. So I looked very okay, yet I wasn't.
Oh, you kept marketing amidst all of this drama?
No. Before the drama,
Yeah.
I was steadily marketing.
Mm.
I think up to yesterday, I still got a call asking me of the same things.
Yeah, because people have learned to associate you with the brand.
Even right now, if you search my name on Facebook, if you search the company name on Facebook or Google or whatever, my name will pop there and my number will be found there.
How does it feel like to be dealing with it so long after after the wind passed?
I talked to our Wakili. I was with her in high school. And in the middle of depression, I was like, no, for how long? Because I had started having thoughts like me, I would just dress in some stripped dress for Kodiaga. You see, I was always imagining myself there. Because you see, most of the time these people reporting these cases, they were reporting pretense, false pretense, something like that.
You're obtaining money under false
Obtaining goods on false pretense and stuff. So that's a very serious case.
It is.
It's a crime. So I sat this Wakili down and expressed myself like literally into details. She told me to cancel myself, and tell myself that I am not the problem. And the more I keep digging into it, I will be stressing myself and not finding solution. And then she told me anytime, the next time the police call me, it is her duty to go and see the police, not mine. So whenever any police will call you going forward, give them my number and tell them that my Wakili will come there. I think that's the best experience this year. Oh no, it was late last year. That was the best thing ever I experienced. Because now, I was taking it alone. Kumbe, I would have easily gotten someone to go legal for me.
And help you.
Yeah, for sure. Since then, I'm easy. Like my phone number is always on. Anyone calling me about that company, I tell them, I don't know.
They still call, the farmers still call?
Yes, up to yesterday.
I want to ask you a question that you don't have to answer. But the business, the said business is still up and running.
It's not.
It's not?
It's not. The guy ran away. He's not in this town. And I don't know where he is. I think Nairobi.
How do they manage to stay afloat for so long with all of this? How do they manage to avoid the authorities now that you have worked with people like that before?
He saw his funds from outside, mostly. And,
like outside of the country?
Yeah. But however much he is in a bottomless pit. So as much as he gets, he still cannot sustain the business and pay all the farmers. It's a bottomless pit.
So it's bringing in more investors, not making money, but still bringing in
more
more
people and incur new debts.
Yeah, so that if you invest with them, your money is more or less gone. I can imagine how many people have been victims to that.
Yeah, many.
Because you see, when you look at some of these businesses from the outside, they run such an honorable operation. They keep such an honorable name, and
we are.
Yeah, to find out but that is what works for them really, because you need to trust somebody before they call you. They need to earn your trust first before you're able to give them money. So I think that that good brand works for them. But like you say, it's a bottomless pit. It's not going anywhere. Looking back, are there any red flags that you might have noticed? Things that when you look back at, in hindsight, you feel like, this is something I should have, this is something I probably saw but did not attach a lot of importance to.
Of course, yes. His lifestyle first changed. His lifestyle really changed, but mine was still there. Why? Because me, I was claiming on the home. I told you, you claim on the fact that one day we will break even. And my whole mistake, again, was that I wasn't really keen to details to follow up on the books. You get? So it was more of him, his lifestyle really changed. From the means of transport to dress code to everything. For him there was an overhaul. But remember, both of us, our source of income was supposed to be. So I think he mismanaged money. And a lot of it. And we took a long time to put a stop to it. That was the main red flag. And also, at some point, I was the only lady in the organization. You realize I could not really press points and assign the men duties. It only meant that they were so much convinced from what they saw that I wasn't the boss anyway. I was depressed. Actually, I wallowed in self-pity, and that is the time I realized I drinking. I got into it.
As a coping mechanism.
And then also, I was readily available for anyone and anything.
Like
Guys,
relation.
can we go to point X? I ask what time, not why or for what game. You see?
Hey, let's go on this road
Yeah,
trip.
that is when I didn't know I'm depressed, but I really did so much stuff that at the end of it, I realized that I wasn't myself. And that was my turnaround. Coming from Bondo, passing all the policemen, you can imagine you're passing them, we don't have a pass, we're just tipping them. That's the time I realized that I'm not okay. My
You're
wellness
doing
was
such risky behavior that is not typical of
not typical of me. Yeah.
Okay.
And
you-
somehow I wasn't camped. Like, kujiachilia tu.
Unaamka tu asubuhi.
You
Katisha
sleep
tena
a lot. I
ng'ombe.
used to sleep a lot. Like, generally most of the time I wake up early. But during that time, I would sleep even up to 9, wake up a little, go back to sleep again. That is the time I realized I was not okay.
Did you see
And I was sleeping, Yonko. Yes, I saw.
Other than seeing the lawyer to help
I sought help.
You sought help.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
There's a guy who we relate to very closely. He works at the USAID. Megas Plaza there. He's been a friend since. When I realized that I was breaking and really losing myself, I just called him and sat him down and explained every detail to him. He's called Vincent Nicholas Odwell, by the way, him I would mention him. And I explained every detail to him. Then from there we came up with a work plan on how to come out of it, which he followed up for a whole 3 months until I was out of it.
Oh, that's
We came up with a
quite
plan.
necessary.
Yeah. It wasn't random. It was a meeting, and then we had action plans. Yeah.
Are you doing this? Did you do this today?
Yes. Now he wasn't following up daily. He would follow up weekly or something like that.
So you mentioned about your mom and how she had to deal with the effects of some of these happenings. Do you have a family? Children, husband?
I'm separated and actually ongoing divorce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I did a church wedding and it didn't work. The ripple effect, by the way, came during this time because you really have no one to talk to. You have no partner, no friend, you hear. And then you suddenly start actually that thing sunk me down deeper because I had no one to talk to. And at the same time I'm separated, I want divorce. My life was just chaotic.
Because my next question would have been how this affected your marriage, your relationships, and even with your children. Because I know when such occurrences happen in our lives, then everybody around us feels it. Yeah, gets hit.
Yeah. My ex-husband did not feel it because I didn't share with him any story because we don't talk much. It doesn't go for 5 minutes, so there's no way he would have known the story. My children, of course, they suffered most. You see, I was very easy to irritate. And when you're irritated and depressed, your kids normally get it most. You'd shout at them, name call them, you really feel like they're part of your troubles, you have bills to sort for them, and also this other side you're breaking up with someone who should be playing a role and is not. You get? So it was a whole period of depression, by the way. But I thank God I came out of it.
Yeah, we thank God. It's not a great
not
place
easy,
to be. But I've seen people who have gotten into bad business deals, and the next thing you know, they cannot, afford rent or mortgage. They cannot keep their kids in school. They cannot, meet all these financial obligations.
But it's not like it also happened to me. I had to move out of my landlord's house and go back to my mama's because she has a big space and it's also in town and I have girls. So what you're saying to me is not secret and I keep saying it because it can help someone.
Yes.
I had to move out of my rented space because, as I keep saying, to me it's a bottomless pit. If for example, I was in a 15,000 house. The next month, we're talking of 30. Then the next one, you're talking of 45.
The next thing you know, you owe the landlord 150,000.
Yes, and now having 150,000 to pay it off and then to move becomes trouble. I swallowed my pride. Those were some of the things we discussed with Vincent and actioned plan on it. It wasn't easy. I wouldn't lie to you that it was easy, going back to your estate with your kids and all that. But it was the best I did. One, because it was giving my children a safe space. You know, no one was knocking on the door asking for rent or anything. And then also for me, it gave me time to look for money for other things.
It also have help. You know, I mean, you said you're depressed, so I imagine being in your mom's space give you, you know, that you had somebody probably to help you with the meals.
Yes.
Or if you're not feeling up to it, then somebody would take care of the girls for you if you're not.
My sisters, yes.
Yes, so I think that it was a good decision, even though not an easy one.
Not an easy one, but please, if, I don't know, you know, it doesn't make me less pretty going back to my mom's house, that I can see on camera. It's just wise enough. Those are decisions you just bite the bullet and settle on. You know,
and you rise faster when you ask for help. Asking for help, I mean, people tend to look down on asking for help, but it's very important to tell people, hey, I'm stuck here and I could use a little help here and there. It helps you get back to your feet even faster instead of carrying the burden of all of it by yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I really do agree. Me, I open up so much, and that's why I really don't find it difficult to tell my story. Yeah, I think I went public on Facebook to tell them, my marriage didn't work, and I'm stitching my own blanket, and I've thrown away yours, called society. I'll just deal with it. I made it very public. From that day, I was so much vindicated. Like, I felt relieved, and I could not explain to people too.
There's a quote that I like that goes something along the lines of if they do not know any secrets about you, if you put it out in the open, then they have nothing to come to. They have nothing to use against you.
I agree.
Because you've taken ownership of it. It's already out there.
It's not opaque.
Yeah, it's not opaque. It's very transparent. So they really have nothing on you. Yeah, they cannot blackmail you and make you feel, because I mean you've owned your journey and your story, and you put it out there. So yeah, I think it's a very brave move. So, do you feel like you've recovered financially from what happened here, or you're still on the journey?
I'm in the journey, but it's not where I was right now. I mean, I'm recovering well. Yeah, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm also not where I was. Yeah.
Do you talk to him? Do you guys have any relationship at all?
My ex-business partner?
Yes.
No, I closed that chapter. It was a very sad one.
You've never bumped into him at all?
No, I haven't.
The reason I'm asking.
But he's in court.
Oh, he's in court. Ah,
yes, there's a farmer. They went on Wakokoti size.
Oh, I like that, because I was thinking if he got off that easily, then it means he will just keep going.
No, he's in court.
Oh, he's in court.
Yeah.
I hope he gets brought to book, because one thing about career conmen is that they know how to really find their way. Yeah. They know how to find their way around these issues and then keep doing their trade over and over and over. So I'm glad somebody was brave enough to take him to court. Okay.
My advice to young people who are coming up with business is very simple. Okay. For you to start a business, it means you've had a thought-through process, and you've done research, which is not an arm's chair research. You go out there and get details and get to know how things are done. However small your business is, I would ask us to get serious and apply professionalism. In that, keep your books, come up with a method to trace and get to know how far or how good or how bad your business is, so that you can be able to have traces of it. Have KPIs, performance indicators. Ensure that you have generated for yourself. If you can't consult, that is why we are always here. Business people, you can consult with us how to go around your business. Most importantly is when you're pulling in a relative into your business or friends into your business, go professionally. It is not a must that you do your quote-unquote small business. It is not a must you treat it as small as you think. Have professionalism. Like, if you get to a point where you feel like you need an accountant, don't get someone who you think can just balance the books and the ledgers and all that, go for a professional, negotiate. It can be a part-time job for them, whereby they just come maybe weekly and ask you for the receipts and the basics you've been doing, and then they do it for you. You get the
So
accountants.
involve professionals.
There are accountants who can do those kind of jobs. Not stay-ins, okay? So you can have them do for you maybe monthly or something. But for me, what I would really encourage is, let us not treat business with the casualness we have been treating it for the longest time, okay? We should try and employ real professionals. That even goes to bloggers. Even if you want your product to go out there online, do not just go with someone who heckles and make noise and does not know how to package a product. You can be selling very good things, for example, online, but the person who is pushing it out for you do not really know how to package it. Maybe they have followers, yes, but how to package them, key service or product that you're selling, they really don't know. They don't get the details. So you end up getting so many likes, but it does not translate into
business,
into push of numbers. Yeah. So I encourage us to go the professional way. Yeah. Just say, you see, they would say it's expensive, but your heart is where your treasures are. Okay? If you have a little treasures, I mean, have it more by bringing professionals. Yeah. And stay woke of common.
So guys, you had it involve lawyers, involve accountants, involve all manner of professionals.
Excuse me, and especially on lawyers, I think it's very necessary from start. Most of the business we open, we get the stamps. And this is real. I hope it doesn't go bad with the clerks or whatever, the lawyers. Most of the business we open, and you see, e-citizen, they normally ask you to have the seal and all that. Most of the time we don't get it from the wakilis themselves that we have sat down and verified. No, the lawyers don't witness it most of the time. Their clerks and secretaries normally have the stamps. So they stamp for you, then you give them the kidogo money. So when rubber hits the road and you have no one to go to, even the wakili do not know you. So I ask us to just follow the due process. It might be long, but it's worth it. I'm so grateful for coming, and I hope my story impacts on someone. Oh, and I'm not giving up. I said I'm not running away from myself, and that is why you will always get me on my 0726 number. I am not going to change it for whatever reasons. Neither am I going to deactivate my Facebook account, because I know really I didn't do any wrong. So that's why I keep pushing, and I'm out there marketing and I'm selling. And I pray that people give me business so that I can brand their products in the best way possible. We exchange service for service.
Thank you guys. That'll be all today. See you next time.
Do what I show.